All was silent for a moment. Then the terrifying sounds of the tiger drawn near returned once more. In the darkness, fear wrapped around the hearts of the 100 individuals as they huddled closer together, their minds racing with thoughts of what awaited them. Together, they had sought refuge from the storm, but now it seemed the very cave that had sheltered them was a trap, leading them to imminent danger. In this frightened assembly, one among them, a young woman named Lila, began to think differently than the rest. While her companions cried out in fear, her heart was resolute, wondering why they had become so paralyzed by their terror. What if we come together, she thought, and find a way to dispel the darkness, rather than allowing our fears to consume us? She looked around at the terrified faces, their eyes wide with panic, and she felt a surge of clarity. Gathering her courage, Lila stood up. "Listen," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. "We can't remain in this darkness, praying for a miracle. If we band together, we might just stand a chance." Although hesitant, her words began to resonate with the others. Slowly, they turned their eyes towards her, curiosity igniting a tiny spark. Was it courage they could follow? Perhaps they could find wisdom in this despair after all. With a collective determination that sharpened the air around them, the group tentatively agreed to listen. Lila suggested that they light all their matches together. "If we each take a minute, perhaps that light will shine brighter, and we can use it to find a way out or at least understand what dangers we face. Let us not fear the darkness, but rather illuminate it together." The notion, while daunting, seemed the most promising solution they had. It took a few moments for all 100 individuals to gather their matches, reluctant hands shaking as they struck them against the rough cave walls. One by one, flickering lights began to emerge, tiny flames in the oppressive darkness. As the matches illuminated the space around them, they revealed the cave's contours, and to their collective astonishment, the fierce tiger was no longer a mere shadow looming before them but instead, merely a stone statue, harmless, a relic of the mountain long forgotten. With laughter bubbling forth, a wave of relief swept through the group. They had let their fear distort reality. What they had imagined as an imminent threat was nothing but a creation of their own minds. Lila smiled, feeling an immense weight lift from her shoulders. In unison, they began to realize that fear can only hold power when we let it dictate our perspective. The confrontation with the darkness had revealed for them a potent truth. The strength found through unity and shared resolve outweighed the most exhilarating fears. Emboldened by their newfound wisdom, the group decided to explore the cave further, now filled with light and laughter. They discovered stunning walls lined with crystals that sparkled like stars. The deeper they ventured, the more they found. They stumbled upon hot springs that warmed their chilled bones, and the air became alive with the scent of wet earth, invigorating their spirits. It was a beautiful world hidden beneath their fear. As the storm outside pounded relentlessly against the mountain stones, their hearts began to dance, knowing they had the power to transcend even the fiercest of challenges. They shared stories together, voices breaking through the once dark air, bonding over their renewed trust in one another. It was a magical revelation that the darkness was no match for their combined light. After hours of sharing joy and laughter amid the mountains, Lila stood before the group once more. "Dear friends," she spoke, invoking a thoughtful hush among them. "We stand here not just as survivors of a snowstorm, but as a family birthed from the darkness. Remember that fear will always whisper to us, challenging our hearts, trying to pull us back into despair. But we now hold the power to confront it together." With these words, she reminded them, deep down, what they truly now understood. They were capable of so much more than they ever imagined. It was time to embrace the journey, no matter how daunting it appeared. They began to make plans for when they would emerge from their sanctuary into the blinding white snowscape. As the snowstorm relented and the sun began to rise, creating a shimmering landscape adorned in white, the group finally emerged from their cave, transformed in spirit and wisdom. Each individual could now see beyond their previous fears. They could feel the pulsating energy of possibility enveloping them. Many days later, they returned to their daily lives, carrying with them not just the memory of a snowstorm but the experiences, their newfound understanding, and the kinship that had blossomed between them in the face of adversity. Lila often thought back to that dark cave, as it had morphed into a profound metaphor for her own journey of self-discovery. Each person concluded that while the external world could throw storms their way, lighting the match of one's innermost potential and wisdom evoked an inner transformation that could illuminate even the darkest paths. They understood it wasn't merely about surviving the storm. It was about emerging from it, enriched with wisdom and insight. In the unfolding of life, it is essential to embrace the shadows, for they are the wombs of enlightenment. Each trial faced, whether great or small, mirrors the journeys we all encounter in our lives. Fear, the stone statue confronted in the cave, always exists, but so does the light kindled by our collective will and effort, leading to enlightenment and growth. As we conclude this tale, let's remember, even in the darkest hours, we possess the strength to bring forth light. Embrace challenges with courage, trust in each other, and never underestimate the power of unity. Through patience, compassion, and collective resolve, we can not only confront the storms that life throws our way, but also emerge from them transformed, wiser, and more capable of illuminating our pathways.